Asabi George, Council Flaherty, Councilor Jackson, Councilor LaMattina, Councilor Linehan, Councilor McCarthy, Councilor O'Malley, Councilor Presley, Councilor Wu,
Present.
and Councilor Zachem. Madam President, we have a quorum.
Okay, I have been informed by the clerk that a quorum is present. And at this time, if everyone could please rise, councilors and all guests. I'd like to introduce Councilor Baker, who will introduce our clergy for today, Father White. And after the invocation is delivered, please everyone remain standing as we recite the Pledge of Allegiance, which will be led by Councilor Baker.
Good morning, everybody. Thank you for coming. Father Joe White's no stranger to this chamber here. I actually brought him in because he's my height. That's why I brought him in. Father Joe is no stranger to any of us here today. He's originally from Dorchester, the Savin Hill part of Dorchester. He spent many years in St. Brendan's Parish in Dorchester, as well as the administrator of Our Lady of Good Voyage Church, where you could go in the door, the Mass was said, and then you're right out the door. Perfect Mass. He was the pastor of St. Vincent de Paul's Parish in South Boston. And he's a strong supporter of the youth in our community and is always going the extra mile. Father Joe is also very instrumental in providing support to people in the recovery community. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce my friend, Father Joe White.
As we gather together, I need to say, too, I'm presently at St. Joseph's here in the West End in Beacon Hill as we bring our prayers together and ask God's guidance and direction in our lives. We pray for you, our council, for your families, and for all your loved ones. We pray for all of our city, for our public safety officials, police and fire, and for all the concerns that are brought forth. We pray for our young people in schools and at the Murphy School and all that comes together this day here in Chamber, and pray for our city and the cares around us. Protect this city, O Lord our God. We turn to you, people of all faiths and backgrounds. We pray for the most newest arrived to our city as a resident and to the longest resident. We bring together all who dwell in it. Be with us, bless our streets, bless our history, bless our newest arteries and ever-changing faces. And here in our boundaries, we ask you to guide us, those who live and labor here, and all our works, to prosper and bring happiness to all whom we love. As we pray for our family, our friends, for all residents, all workers, and all who strive here in this city. Intercede for us, O God of all names and all ways, as we bring before you now our prayers. Give us grace. Strengthen, guide, defend, and protect us as we pray, especially for our military who protect our nation, and for all those cares and needs. As the motto of this city flag says, as you have been with our ancestors, so may you be with us. Amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you so much, Father Joe White, for your message. Madam Clerk, if you would please record Councilor Flaherty and Councilor Campbell as being present as well.
Thank you, Madam President.
And now I would like to ask Councilor Baker back up with a very special group that he's brought to the City Council chambers today. We are going to hear from Michael Crowley and the Boston Against Bullies campaign with fifth graders from the Murphy School.
Good. Again, good morning, everybody. Today, I wanted to bring in Michael Crowley and kids from the fifth grade at the Murphy School. They were They were dubbed the best school in Boston for their campaign for Boston Against Bullying, which the New England Sports Museum highlighted the Dorchester School at its 14th annual show on December 2nd at the Boston Garden, entitled The Tradition. And at that show, which was televised on NECN, I believe was NECN, they brought Crowley in to recognize him. And I wanted to bring in the students, the people that actually did the work and actually were part of the campaign. So we brought the 5th grade in from the Murphy. We couldn't fit everybody up here. 5th grade Murphy students over here. I want to thank them for their achievements. And thank you. So not unlike what happens in our offices a lot of times, when our office does good work, we get the praise for it. So the kids did the good work, and Crowley got all the praise. But I wanted to just make sure that we paid them their respect and thank them. My children actually go to the Murphy, so I know that with this campaign going on, that the school that my children go into every day, it's a safe, respectful environment. And I wanted to, again, just thank them and thank Crowley and everybody else involved in this project. I want to bring Michael up to say a couple words, please.
Well, good morning. First, I want to thank Michelle Gormley and Rusty Sullivan of the Boston Sports Museum who brought the program to the Murphy. On December 2nd, I had the honor of attending the TD Garden, and in attendance was Roger Clemens, Danny Ainge, and a number of other famous sports athletes. As I stood on this stage, I realized that there was something missing. Like Councilman Baker said, I'm getting all the credit. But the fact of the matter is, these kids did the work. I saw day in and day out for weeks at a time, long after the program was done. If you can remember back when you were in middle school or in elementary school, bullying, the Sports Museum and the Boston versus Bullies program came into the Murphy and gave these kids the tools and techniques to battle bullying. But it was the kids that took those tools and those skills and brought it a step further. And I wanted, and speaking with Mr. Baker, I wanted an opportunity for these guys. Murphy kids, you got to stand up for me, please. These are the guys and girls, boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, that have made this program, the Boston versus Bullies, so unbelievable. So if you guys wouldn't mind, when I was at the Garden, I got a round of applause. I know they already got one, but let's give them another one. Thing that I wanted to do at the Garden, but I didn't have my crew with me. So when I say Murphy, you say thunder. Murphy! Thunder! Murphy! Boston versus Bullies.
Morning, everyone. Congratulations, kids. My name is Rusty Sullivan. I'm the Executive Director of the Sports Museum at the TD Garden. We're the organization that put together Boston versus Bullies. It's been our pleasure with Michelle Gormley, our Director of Education, and our whole team to bring Boston versus Bullies to very interested Boston schools like the Murphy, like the Orenberger, and there are many others. We look forward to working with Boston schools going forward. It's a great program. It features current Boston athletes like Mookie Betts and Evan Turner and Allie Reisman, and it's all about the kids and stopping bullying. You know, in Boston, we are the greatest sports city on the planet. There's no question about that, and we are working with educators at the Murphy and others to make Boston the leader in anti-bullying prevention, and we're going to get there. And it's because of these kids, and because of great people like Michael and other administrators that leading the way. So thank you for having us here today, and good afternoon. Thank you.
Here, and if all my colleagues could come up to take a picture with our incredible young leaders.
But then we don't have a face.
my spot.
Thank you all so much for what you're doing in your schools. You're truly represent the best example of what we want to see here in the city of Boston. We're honored to have you in the chamber. Moving on to our official business. If there are no objections or changes to be made, the minutes of last meeting will stand approved. Hearing and seeing none, the minutes stand approved. Madam Clerk, communications from His Honor the Mayor, please.
Docket number 0290, message and order authorizing the Public Works Department to accept and expend funds of $4 million in the form of reimbursement from MassDOT to cover expenses related to the design of the North Washington Street Bridge.
Docket number 0290 will be sent to the Committee on City and Neighborhood Services and Veterans Affairs.
Docket number 0291, message and order authorizing the Public Works Department to accept and expend funds of $210,000 in the form of reimbursement for the Boston Harbor Island Alliance to cover expenses for the procurement of a generator and a reserve osmosis system for Spectacle Island.
Docket 0291 will be sent to the Committee on City and Neighborhood Services and Veterans Affairs.
Docket number 0292, message and order for your approval, a City Council order considering the extension of certain powers and responsibilities related to Boston's urban renewal program.
Chair recognizes Councilor Bill Linehan.
Thank you, Madam President. I make a motion for a substitution of the original submittal letter in place for the one that has been placed in front of all the councilors that's been revised and signed by the mayor.
Thank you. Councilor Linehan moves for substitution of the revised letter for the original that is in the packet. Councilor Linehan, do you want to elaborate on the changes just on the record for the public?
I mean, it was nomenclature related to the type of sessions that we had, and we just got them clarified using the appropriate nomenclature related to how we noticed them to the public.
Thank you very much. So again, the motion is before us for substitution of the language. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. The motion to substitute has been passed and the revised letter will now be in the official record. Docket 0292 will be sent to the Committee on Planning and Development.
Docket number 0293, message and order for the confirmation of the reappointment of Pamela Beal as a member of the Back Bay West/Back Bay State Road Architectural Conservation District Commission for a term expiring on June 30th, 2017. And docket number 0294, message and order for the confirmation of the reappointment of Terry North as an alternative member of the Back Bay West/Bay State Road Architectural Conservation Commission for a term expiring June 30th, 2017.
Dockets number 0293 and 294 will be assigned to the Committee on Planning and Development.
Docket number 0295, message and order for the confirmation of the reappointment of Stephen Dunwell as a member of the Bay Village Historic District for a term expiring April 1st, 2017. Docket number 0296, message and order for the confirmation of the reappointment of Ruth Knopf as a member of the Bay Village Historical District Commission for a term expiring April 1st, 2017. Docket number 0297, message and order for the confirmation of the reappointment of John Amodio as an alternate member of the Boston Landmarks Commission for a term expiring June 30th, 2018. Docket number 0298, message and order for the confirmation of the reappointment of John Freeman as a member of the Boston Landmarks Commission for a term expiring on June 30th, 2018. Docket number 0299, message in order for the confirmation of the reappointment of Thomas Hottling as alternate member of the Boston Landmarks Commission for a term expiring June 30th, 2017. Docket number 0300, message in order for the confirmation of the reappointment of Catherine Hunt as a member of the South End Landmarks District Commission for a term expiring on June 30th, 2017. Docket number 0301, message in order for the confirmation of the reappointment of Francois Elise as an alternate member of the St. Petolf Area Architectural Conservation District Commission for a term expiring on June 30th, 2017. Docket number 0302, message in order for the confirmation of the reappointment of Thomas Rhodey as a alternate member of the Fort Point District Commission for a term expiring on May 18th, 2018. And docket number 0303, message in order for the confirmation of the appointment of Bradford Walker as a member of the Boston Landmarks Commission for a term expiring June 30th, 2017.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Dockets number 0295 through 0303 will be assigned to the Committee on Planning and Development.
Docket number 0304, notice was received from the mayor of the appointment of Ian Mitchell as a member of the Boston Groundwater Trust for a term expiring March 20th, 2017. Docket number 0305, notice was received from the mayor of the appointment of Peter Schilland as a member of the Boston Groundwater Trust for a term expiring March 20th, 2017. Docket number 0306, notice was received from the mayor of the appointment of Gary Saunders as a member of the Boston Groundwater Trust for a term expiring March 20th, 2017. Docket number 0307, notice was received from the mayor of the appointment of Greg Gaylor as a member of the Boston Groundwater Trust for a term expiring March 21st, 2017. And docket number 0308, notice was received from the mayor of the appointment of Iphigenia Demetriades, something like that. I'm sure Alex could do a better job, as a member of the Back Bay Architectural Commission for a term expiring December 31st, 2018.
Dockets number 0304 through 0308 will be placed on file.
Docket number 0309, communication was received from Councilor Presley notifying that she reserved the Piemonte Room on February 10th for the Epicenter community, who will provide an informational briefing to community organizations and city officials. Docket number 0310, notice was received from the mayor of his absence from the city from 2:30 p.m. until 7:30 p.m. on Tuesday, February 9th, 2016. Docket number 0311, communication was received from the Flynn Commission regarding the report on building bridges. Docket number 0312, notice was received from the mayor of his absence from the city from 7:30 a.m. on Thursday, February 18th until 8:30 p.m. on Sunday, February 21st, 2016. And docket number 0313, notice was received from the mayor of the appointment of Christine Pulgini as Executive Director of the Mayor's Office of Consumer Affairs and Licensing, effective January 4th, 2016.
Dockets number 0309 through 0313 will be placed on file. Reports of committees, Madam Clerk.
Docket number 0169, the Committee on City and Neighborhood Services and Veterans Affairs, to which was referred on January 27, 2016. Docket number 0169. Message and order authorizing the City of Boston to accept and expend funds not to exceed $100,000 from various donations to the City of Boston's Office of Neighborhood Services to support Boston Shines 2016. Submits a report recommending the order ought to pass.
Chair recognizes Councilor Tim McCarthy.
Thank you very much, Madam President. This was a pretty straightforward. Neighborhood Services runs Boston Shines. We're all integral parts of that Boston Shines in our community. It's all hands on deck as the no snow, which is good, but the salt and the sand have to be picked up. And different projects throughout the city are addressed. And we had a great conversation with the administration about any projects that we have in our own neighborhoods that need to be addressed. We'll continue to work with them. So this, I suggest this pass. Thank you.
Councilor McCarthy moves for passage of the committee report and docket number 0169. All those in favor say aye. All those opposed say nay. Docket 0169 has been passed. Madam Clerk, if you would read the next 4 items together, please.
Docket number 0127, the Committee on Public Safety, to which was referred on January 13th, 2016, docket number 0127. Message and order authorizing the police commissioner to accept and expend a grant of $1,600,000 from the Massachusetts Executive Office of Health and Human Services. This FY16 EOHHS Safe and Successful Youth Initiative to support Boston's most at-risk young men and women most likely to be involved in gun violence submits a report recommending the order ought to pass. Docket number 0166, the Committee on Public Safety, to which was referred on January 27, 2016, docket number 0166. Message and order authorizing the police commissioner to accept and expend a grant of $426,558 from the U.S. Department of Justice Bureau of Justice Assistance Funds for the FY15 Edward Byrne Memorial Justice Assistance Grant, known as JAG, for the purpose of supporting crime prevention and law enforcement, submits a report recommending the order ought to pass. Docket number 0167, the Committee on Public Safety, to which was referred on January 27, 2016, docket number 0167. Message and order authorizing the police commissioner to accept and expend a grant of $283,812 from the U.S. Department of Justice, FY15 DNA Capacity Enhancement and Backlog Reduction Program, submits a report recommending the order ought to pass. And docket number 0170, the Committee on Public Safety, to which was referred on January 27, 2016, docket number 0170. Message and order authorizing the police commissioner to accept and expend a grant of $22,500 from the U.S. Department of Justice Office to support the FY15 Paul Coverdell National Forensic Science Improvement Program, submits a report recommending the order ought to pass.
Chair recognizes Councilor Andrea Campbell.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, Clerk. These matters were referred to the Committee on Public Safety and Criminal Justice on January 27th. The committee held a public hearing on these dockets on Thursday, February 11th. And I'll sort of talk individually about each docket really briefly before making a recommendation. So docket number 0127 refers to the city's Safe and Successful Youth Initiative Program. It's a multidisciplinary, comprehensive service delivery program geared towards increasing positive outcomes among youth who are most at risk of becoming gang involved or perpetrators of gun violence. And it connects youth to educational opportunities, employment services, long-term and meaningful relationships. It's a very important grant. While many questions were answered at the hearing, it was about 2 hours long, the committee still waits further documentation detailing the years the city received the grant, the funds received each year, the youth spots available during those years, the breakdown of the staff, the personnel in city-funded positions during those years, the current list of both youth and program participants, and the program evaluation metrics, if they exist. Because of the importance of this funding and the fact that the program participants have already been confirmed and await the money, I thought it was important that we move forward with passage of this, but still at the same time understand that those questions remain, and we'll continue to follow up on those at a later hearing. For docket number 1066, Maria Cheevers from BPD provided testimony that the department intends to utilize the JAG funds to continue the crucial work of key positions, including domestic violence advocates, a domestic violence analyst, a tech analyst, and research and policy analyst. For docket number 0167, Donald Hayes of BPD testified that the funds would support criminalists and DNA criminalist and DNA criminalist positions, allowing the department to meet back caseloads, further reduce the backlog of cases, and support the staff's continuing education and accreditation requirements. And then for docket number 0170, Donald also testified the department's forensics group unit, which includes crime lab, firearms, analyst unit, crime scene response unit, will use these funds for professional development. As chair of the Public Safety Committee and Public Safety and Criminal Justice Committee, I recommend moving these dockets forward from the committee to the full council for a vote, and I recommend that they ought to pass. But I will say this, let's keep in mind the questions related to SSYI, which we'll continue to talk about at a later hearing in March. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Councillor Campbell. Councillor Campbell moves for acceptance of the committee reports and passage of each of the 4 dockets. We'll vote on them one at a time. So docket 0127, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. Docket 0127 has been passed. Docket 0166, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. 0166 has been passed. Docket 0167, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. Docket 0167 has passed. And finally, docket 0170, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. Docket 0170 has been passed. Matters recently heard for possible action.
Docket number 0162, message in order to reduce the FY16 appropriation for the reserve fund for collective bargaining by $9,035,582 to provide funding in the police department for the FY16 cost items contained in the arbitration award of JLMC case number 12-2078 on December 22nd, 2015, which amends the salary schedule for the Boston Police Detectives Benevolent Society. And docket number 0163, message in order approving a supplemental appropriation of $9,035,582 to provide funding in the police department for the FY16 cost items contained in the arbitration award of JLMC case number 12-2078 in December 22nd, 2015, which amends the salary schedule for the Boston Police Detectives Benevolent Society. The terms of the contract are July 1st, 2010 through June 30th, 2013, and July 1st, 2013 through June 30th, 2016. The contract award provides an overall salary increase of approximately 28.7% over 6 years of the contract.
Councillor Siomo, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Docket 0162 would reduce the fiscal year 16 collective bargaining reserve by $9,035,582 to fund the arbitration award for our friends that are all, many of them are here today, from the Boston Police Detectives Benevolent Society. In accordance with the arbitrator's decision, JLMC case number 12-2078, docket 0163 would appropriate that $9,035,582 to the police department for the purpose of funding the arbitration award. We held a hearing this past Monday, February 22nd. Dave Sweeney, our CFO from the City of Boston, testified, as well as Alexis Kachuk, Director of Labor Relations, Anne Marie Noonan, Deputy Director of Labor Relations for the City of Boston, and Steve Whitman, Deputy Superintendent Labor Relations for the Boston Police Department. Brian Black, who's here today, I want to thank him, and Donald Casey, not Kevin Casey, as I mentioned the other day, I apologize, for providing testimony and answering questions regarding the arbitration process and various elements of the contract. We had full participation from the council and discussion was robust. This award funds 2 successive 3-year contracts expiring this coming June on June 30th. The wage increase pattern for this award is in fiscal year 11, starting on January 2011, a 2.5% increase. FY12, effective July 12th, a 1% increase. FY13, 1% effective October 2013, and FY 14, 15, and 16, 3%, each effective on October 2013, 14, and 15. There are other elements to this award with monetary and policy impacts, including the parity adjustment of the $2,000 to the base, the strip base, the educational incentive payments, formerly known as the Quinn Bill. The city will now make up half of the state's share. As many of you remember, several years ago, the state defunded their 50% share of all police officers' pay, and the city over the past 3 years gets to 75% total Quinn reimbursement for the educational incentive, which is half of the 50%. Longevity increases, cumulative risk enhancement, comp time, and the detectives' exams were all negotiated. We have collective bargaining reserve balances as of fiscal year 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15, and 16. We have a current balance of $1.5 million. In FY12, we have a balance of $2.5 million. In FY13, we have a balance of $5.4 million. In FY14, we have a balance of $4.1 million. FY15, $10.8 million. And FY16, $11.1 million. After paying this out, we will still have a balance of approximately $12.6 million to settle the bus driver contract as well as potential command staff increases. With one potential remaining expenditure, we expect a surplus in the collective bargaining. And again, this is the end of the cycle that would end this June 30th, 2016, which we saw 3 arbitration awards, which leads me to, some of the issues that many of us brought up. Even the most ardent supporters would agree. The remaining potential expenditures, because of this unit's high Quinn participation and longevity, it appears more favorable to this unit. But the wage increases and policy changes are consistent with previous public safety contracts. As we consider this measure, it is important to understand it is within a larger context. We are proud of our public safety workers who keep Boston neighborhoods safe. The city is fortunate to have the best police force, I believe, in this country. And many of us on the council agree with fairly compensating detectives for the tremendous work that they do, though we must do so in a more sustainable and consistent way. The leapfrogging effect of these awards of public safety unions can no longer continue. In the future, we hope that contracts can be negotiated across the table and that these types of situations can be resolved. That said, it is my recommendation that we pass 0162 and 0163. And before we take the vote, Madam President, we also joined in a letter, and all of our colleagues signed on. We try to encapsulate the issues with these awards through arbitration, that we're seeing 25, 26, 27, while our civilian employees are getting 12.6 to 14% over a 6-year period. It's unsustainable to keep doing that without creating a huge gulf between public safety employees and our civilian workers. We addressed that in the letter, and we asked that the public safety unions work with us, work with the administration to come up with a fresh approach to how we bargain these contracts so that we don't continue to exacerbate the huge gulf that continues between our public safety unions and our civilian workers. We value all of the hard work of all of our city employees, and we have to recognize that there are balances. What is affordable to the city? We are a very strong, financially sound city, but affordability is not just about what we can afford without going into bankruptcy. It's about how we balance all of our needs and all of the services that we give to the city of Boston and try to make it as equitable across the board to all our city workers so that the services can be provided for everyone on that basis. So we'll be discussing that at a later time, and I again recommend passage of dockets 0162 and 0163.
Thank you very much, Chairman Siomo, for your work on this, and as always, for steering this council in our roles as fiscal stewards for the city. Councilor Presley, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President, and thank you, Mr. Chairman, for that articulate statement and rationale unpacking there. You know, I agree. Ultimately, it is unfair to hold the 277 members of this bargaining unit and their families accountable for an identical arbitration award that the 3 other police unions have received in the last 6 years. It is $300,000 less than the city's last and best offer. At the end of the day, as well articulated by Chairman Siomo, this is an issue of funding, and a no vote by me won't change that. State aid has been stagnant, if not declining, for years, and the city does not have the ability or the authority to raise its own revenues. Further, I do think it's notable that this is the most diverse public safety union. I look forward to bringing all the public safety unions together with the administration to address the issue of increasing public safety awards, the disparity between the civil unions, as articulated by the chairman, and how to ensure all of our unions reflect the diversity of the city they serve. Again, ultimately, this is simply a matter of fairness and equity. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Presley. Does anyone else wish to speak on this matter? Great. So Councilor Siomo, as Councilor Siomo has mentioned, we will vote now on dockets numbers 0162 and 0163 individually. Together, they make up the arbitration award for the detectives. Later on in the meeting, as a late file, we will take a vote on the proposed letter that summarizes some of the sentiments of the council expressed at the hearing earlier this week. And we will take these 2 votes as a roll call vote. Councilor Siomo moves for passage of docket number 0162. And Madam Clerk, if you would please call the roll.
Docket number 0162. Councilor Baker. Yes. Councilor Baker, yes. Councilor Campbell. Councilor Campbell, yes. Councilor Siomo. Councilor Siomo, yes. Councilor Anisi George. Asabi George. Anissa. Well, the answer is yes. That's important. Councilor Flaherty. Councilor Flaherty, yes. Councilor Jackson. Councilor Jackson, yes. Councilor LaMattina. Councilor LaMattina, yes. Councilor Linehan. Councilor Linehan, yes. Councilor McCarthy. Councilor McCarthy, yes. Councilor O'Malley. Councilor O'Malley, yes. Councilor Presley. Councilor Presley, yes. Councilor Wu.
Yes.
Councilor Wu, yes. And Councilor Zachem. Councilor Zachem, yes. Madam President, we have a unanimous vote on docket number 0162.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. And if you would please call the roll for docket number 0163.
Docket number 0163. Councilor Baker. Yes. Councilor Baker, yes. Councilor Campbell. Councilor Campbell, yes. Councilor Siomo. Councilor Siomo, yes. Councilor Asabi George. Councilor Asabi George, yes. Councilor Flaherty. Councilor Flaherty, yes. Councilor Jackson. Councilor Jackson, yes. Councilor LaMattina. Councilor LaMattina, yes. Councilor Linehan. Councilor Linehan, yes. Councilor McCarthy. Councilor McCarthy, yes. Councilor O'Malley. Councilor O'Malley, yes. Councilor Presley. Councilor Presley, yes. Councilor Wu.
Yes.
Councilor Wu, yes. Councilor Zachem. Councilor Zachem, yes. Madam President, docket number 0163 received a unanimous vote.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Motions, orders, and resolutions.
Docket number 0314, Councilor LaMattina offered the following order that section of Rule 34 of Section 2016-2017 rules of the Boston City Council prohibiting committees from holding hearings on the day of any regular meeting of the council be suspended on March 2nd, 2016, to have a hearing for the Committee on Parks and Recreation and Transportation.
Councilor LaMattina, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I ask to pass and suspend this order today so we can have a committee hearing next Wednesday at 6 p.m. at the Hyde Park Community Center regarding docket number 0136 in order for a hearing regarding inconsistency in commuter rail fares and the effects on this on local communities. Thank you.
Docket 0314, I apologize, Councilor LaMattina, I was stepped away. You're moving for suspension and passage?
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Docket 0314, all those in favor of suspension and passage, say aye. Any opposed, say nay. Docket 0314 has been suspended and passed. And Madam Clerk, before you continue, I have been reminded by our predecessor in this role that I'm still learning and new. And even though you spoke, you let us know the results of the last 2 votes before that, I need to officially read it into the record. So just to go back to docket 0162, we had a unanimous vote. So docket 0162 has passed. And docket 0163, similarly, a unanimous vote, and that item has been passed as well. Docket number 0315, please.
Docket number 0315. Councilor McCarthy offered the following ordinance regulating yard sales, garage sales, tag sales, and like sale.
Councilor McCarthy, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam President. Must have been something they're not big fans of yard sales. Everybody left. Must be a good yard sale going out in the plaza. Thank you very much. This by no means is meant to prohibit, halt, or alter the changes in the tradition of a true yard sale. The issues that we're having is that yard sales and garage sales have become commercial enterprises. In fact, in my neighborhood, the Fairmount Neighborhood Association has a yard sale on a Saturday, which I know some of my at-large colleagues have attended. They have a one-day event throughout the neighborhood. It's a great team-building event and a great neighborhood-building event. In fact, as I stand here today, my own street of Chesterfield Street is kicking around a yard sale day for us on a Saturday, and all my at-large colleagues will get an invite to shuffle through our stuff. And it's a great team-building event. The issue that we're having is that many of the neighbors are now turning this into commercial enterprise, where every single day, or every weekend rather, they drag out Bruins shirts and Patriots shirts and Red Sox stuff and kids' toys, and they're buying and replacing it. The quality of life for the neighbors in the immediate area are really in question. And this is becoming disturbing. It's becoming an issue between neighbor and neighbor. And because the City of Boston, we do not regulate yard sales or garage sales, little relief is available when these people call us for their quality of life issues. So I'm hoping to have an expedited hearing really before the springtime breaks to talk to inspectional services, to talk to the administration, to figure out how we can get the best rules in the books to make sure that people do not have to be continually disturbed on a Saturday or Sunday, weekend after weekend after weekend. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor McCarthy. Councilor Jackson.
Thank you very much, and I want to give propers to Councilor McCarthy for bringing up quality of life issues. I just do want to raise a pause around these issues relative to some folks actually use this to supplement their income, and it is with some of the issues that we have in the city around people just being able to stay here. I know that there's people in my neighborhood who are doing this to put some change in their pocket. So I hope we can be very deliberate about moving slowly, as well as thinking about the potential impacts that we can have on individuals who just kind of need a little bit of help. Thank you very much. And I know that the author is someone who appreciates things like that. But I just wanted to raise that. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Jackson. Madam Clerk, could you please add Councilor O'Malley's name? Docket number 0315 will be assigned to the Committee on Government Operations.
Docket number 0316. Councilor O'Malley offered the following resolution to hold a hearing to consider naming the Hyde Jackson Square neighborhood of Jamaica Plain Boston's Latin Quarter.
Chair recognizes Councilor O'Malley.
Thank you, Madam President. Several months ago, I was approached by a group of really fantastic young people who came from the Hyde Square Task Force. They designated the Hyde Jackson Square neighborhood in Jamaica Plain as Boston's Latin Quarter. This is a natural progression from action that this body took in 2007. Most of us were not here then, but some of us were. And in 2007, the Boston City Council passed a resolution that proclaimed Center Street that runs from Hyde to Jackson Square as officially known as La Avenida de las Americas, Avenue of the Americas. Hyde Square Task Force has been based in Hyde Square for more than 25 years and serves more than 1,200 youth each year. Many of us have worked with them on other issues that they've come before this body in the past. And I'm filing this resolution today to begin a process, actually quite long process that I've discovered, and ask for your support in joining me. According to the Boston Redevelopment Authority, more than 25% of Boston's Jamaica Plain neighborhood population is Latino, and Hyde Jackson Square has a 60-year history of Latino immigrants arriving from Central America, South America, and the Caribbean. Many of Jamaica Plain's Latino residents call the Hyde Jackson Square area home. 40% of Hyde Jackson Square residents speak Spanish in their homes, and Hyde Jackson Square is home to more than 125 businesses on Center Street, 65% of which are immigrant-owned. Boston's Latino population has significantly increased in the last 2 decades, and a Latin Quarter in Boston would showcase, preserve, and celebrate the rich Latin culture. Designated the Hyde Jackson Square neighborhood as Boston's Latin Quarter will help support local businesses by attracting more visitors to the area. I can speak from personal experience. Growing up in Roslindale, my mother was a teacher at the former Blessed Sacrament School in Hyde Square. I have so many fond memories as a kid in the 80s and the 90s of going to Blessed Sacrament for midnight mass on Christmas Eve, which was done in both English and Spanish. I can remember the smells of the food, the sounds of the music, the incredible culture that was there that has really remained in a time when much of the city has changed. So I think expanding on this idea is the right proposal. Now, to get official designation, as some of you have done in the past with other cultural districts and whatnot, you have to go through a state process. The first step is usually support from the City Council, but rather than asking for suspension and passage, I would like to have a hearing on this in Hyde Jackson Square, working with the youth, and really use that to allow them the voice to articulate why this is so important. Obviously, I stand with them and hope you do too. Thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you very much, Councilor O'Malley. Councilor Presley, you have the floor.
I just rise to commend the maker and ask to have my name added. I think this is a really exciting proposal to consider, both a celebration and honoring of our diversity, but also a preserving of it. I think it will incentivize residents to go visit the Latin Quarter as well as tourists. So just wish to have my name added and commend the maker.
Thank you, Councilor Presley. Madam Clerk, if you would please add Councilor Presley's name, add Councilor McCarthy, Councilor Jackson, Councilor Flaherty, Councilor Asabi George. And now, if the chair could actually clarify, as we're trying to figure out which committee to assign this to properly, is the process, Councilor O'Malley, to go through the BRA or to go through arts and culture designation?
I believe it would be arts and culture or possibly city and neighborhood services. I'm not entirely certain, Madam President.
Okay, thank you. So let's start with the assumption that this will fall under similar processes as we did when we designated other cultural districts through the arts, and we will assign docket 0316 to the Committee on Arts, Culture, and Special Events.
Docket number 0317, Councilor Asabi George offered the following resolution in support of Massachusetts House Bill 529, an act relative to assisting elders and people with disabilities in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts.
Councilor Asabi George, you have the floor.
Thank you. Madam Chair, I rise today to offer a resolution in support of Mass House Bill 529, an act relative to assisting elders and people with disabilities in the Commonwealth. This bill would increase the emergency aid that currently sits at $303 to $428. There has been no change in this aid since 1988, and if it had been increasing along those years, it would be at approximately $600 today. House Bill, again, 529 would bring it to $428. It would also eliminate the shelter penalty. When people become homeless, they not only suffer the trauma of losing a place to live, they also get penalized. And oftentimes, they avoid entering our shelter system so that they don't lose this emergency assistance. That currently sits at $303. When that individual enters a homeless shelter, an emergency shelter, that benefit drops to $92. It is so extreme and excessive that we are directly affecting some of our most vulnerable citizens. It is especially effective or impactful in the city of Boston, where most of the state's people that benefit from this benefit reside in the city of Boston, approximately 3,362 residents. I ask for suspension of the rules and the support of my colleagues today and passage of this resolution. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Sabi George. Madam Clerk, if you could please add Councillor Jackson's name, add Councillor Linehan, Councillor Campbell, Councillor Siomo, Councillor Baker, Councillor Presley, Councillor O'Malley, Councillor McCarthy. Please add the chair's name. We're darting all around the chamber. And please add Councillor Flaherty's name. Councillor Sabi George moves at this time for suspension and adoption of docket number 0317. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. Docket 0317 has been suspended and adopted.
Docket number 0318. Councilor Flaherty offered the following order approving a petition for a special law regarding an act to restore Boston's governmentally involved housing project.
Chair recognizes Councillor Flaherty.
Thank you, Madam President. This is a home rule petition that would allow Boston to preserve and restore at-risk affordable housing at no cost to the city. As we all know, this is a refiled matter, a matter that has consistently passed this body unanimously and has also been signed by our mayor. So I'll be moving for suspension and passage of this home rule petition again so it can move quickly up to the State House for consideration by their Committee on Housing. In a sense, the proposal will apply to current and formerly HUD subsidized housing with expiring use restrictions on them, which according to the mayor's housing report includes about 3,000 apartments across the city. And if passed, Boston would require owners extending the HUD contracts or would allow them to convert the vouchers into project-based subsidies in order to maintain those affordable units in our city. And this home rule petition would allow the city to stabilize approximately 2,000 converted apartments such as High Point Village in Rosendale and the Bay Towers apartments in South Boston as affordable for future tenants as well. So looking forward to and would move at this time, Madam President, for suspension and passage. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Flaherty. Madam Clerk, if you could please add Councillor Jackson's name, add Councillor Linehan, Councillor McCarthy, Councillor O'Malley, Councillor Sabi George, Councillor Siomo, Councillor LaMattina, Councillor Presley, and please add the chair's name. At this time, Councillor Flaherty moves for suspension and passage of docket 0318. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed say nay. Docket number 0318 has been suspended and passed.
Docket number 0319. Councilor O'Malley offered the following ordinance regarding the sale of animals in the city of Boston.
Chair recognizes Councilor O'Malley.
Thank you, Madam President. Today, I am proud to introduce the Puppy Mill Bill. This ordinance will prohibit the sale of dogs, cats, or rabbits from stores or roadside sales within the city of Boston. It is necessary for a number of reasons. Across the country, there are large factories that breed animals as if they were cogs on an assembly line. The conditions that these animals live in are abhorrent. Oftentimes, these animals don't have access to regular veterinary care or socialization or exercise or food or water or basic housing. Many of these puppy mills, both licensed and unlicensed, are in vagrant violation of the basic federal standards. Once these animals are bred in these squalid conditions, they are often sent to pet stores. A family or individual will purchase them and then often incur large veterinary bills as a result of their upbringing. This cost, coupled with the significant emotional toll on the owner, is often too much to bear. Now, fortunately, we've seen a heightened awareness on the danger and inhumane treatment that comes from many of these puppy mills. Indeed, 20 or 30 years ago, a pet store in a mall was as common as a food court or a large department store. More and more people are adopting pets through rescues or organizations like the Animal Rescue League, MSPCA, or city shelters. I know several of you have adopted pets from organizations like these. Yet we still have work to do. There is no prohibition of selling these pets in stores in Boston or any other town in Massachusetts. While no stores currently sell cats or dogs in Boston, there is nothing to prevent these stores from coming to Boston. And I would argue the mere fact that you've heard from many lobbyists and pet store owners from outside the city and outside the state looking to target and defeat this bill underscores the necessity for us to pass this legislation. Moreover, we've seen an uptick in roadside sales of animals. Oftentimes, these animals will originate in the same squalid conditions and literally be sold on the side of the road for which there is no prohibition. Since this was reported in the media on Sunday, I've heard from a number of individuals who've experienced this and seen this firsthand within the last month. I want to be clear on what this bill will do and what this bill will not do. This bill will prohibit the sale of dogs, cats, and rabbits from stores. It will not prevent the sale of fish or birds or small mammals such as guinea pigs or ferrets. This bill isn't about putting anyone out of business. In fact, there are many small pet stores in Boston that are fully supportive of this bill. They recognize that the way the market has changed to focus on grooming or food or other pet supplies, coupled with the fish and birds and other animals, is the way to go. This bill will not limit private breeders. Indeed, if you breed dogs or cats or rabbits, you will be able to continue your business out of your home. This bill is supported by the mayor's office. It's supported by the MSPCA. It's supported by the Animal Rescue League, the Humane Society, and countless Boston residents who I believe have been contacting you. 120 cities across the United States have enacted similar legislation, including large cities such as Chicago and Los Angeles, to name two. It is high time that we follow suit. By doing so, we will provide and we will prove that Boston cares about, that we are a humane city and that we care about all of our residents, particularly those that care for the four-legged ones. Thank you very much, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor O'Malley. Councilor Siomo.
Thank you. I rise to commend the maker and his intentions here. I just wanted to speak about one owner that is potentially negatively impacted, and I spoke to Councilor O'Malley before the hearing. I think we're going to work together to try to ameliorate any negative impacts on Jim Gentile, 40-year owner of the pet shop in Alston. Jim is, he's been a staple of our community for 40 years. He was a founder of the Alston Village Main Streets, which we just celebrated the 20th anniversary of last night. He's a Alston Board of Trade president, former president and member, and has, again, been very active in our community. Jim is one of the few registered and licensed rabbit breeders in the state. I believe he sells maybe 100 or so rabbits per year. And the only pet store that sells rabbits within the city. And in fact, there is no pet store in Boston that sells dogs or cats either. Under this proposal, he would be banned from selling rabbits he bred in his store, but would be able to sell them as a breeder out of his house. So again, I want to thank Kara Holmquist, who spoke to my staff and me about this potential unintended consequence, and Councilor O'Malley to work with me to try to prevent this kind of unintended consequence on this very good store owner in my district. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Siomo. Madam Clerk, if you could please add Councilor McCarthy's name.
I've owned pets myself, or actually had pets as a child, all the way through my adulthood and my kids' adulthood. So I definitely see the merit of this ordinance. We certainly want animals to be treated humanely, and anything we can do as a body, I want to support going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, would you please add the chair's name as well? And add Councilor Asabi George and Councilor Presley. Docket number 0319 will be assigned to the Committee on Government Operations. Personnel orders, Madam Clerk.
Docket number 0320, Councilor Wu for Councilor Jackson. Offer the following
Councilor
order.
Jackson moves for suspension and passage of docket number 0320. All those in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Docket 0320 has passed. I have been informed by the clerk that there is one late filed matter, which in the absence of objection will be added to today's agenda. Hearing no objection, the matter is added to the agenda. Madam Clerk, if you would please read the first late filed matter.
In the year 2016, order of Council President Michelle Wu and Councilor Mark Siomo. Whereas the Boston City Council is responsible for analyzing and reviewing spending proposals, including appropriations for collective bargaining agreements. Do you want me to read the entire or?
Yes, please.
Yes. Whereas the Boston City Council has an obligation to ensure the financial stability of the city, but also recognizes the procedures of the collective bargaining process. The attached letter identifies the principles that the Boston City Council expects the city to follow in future negotiation proceedings. Therefore, be it ordered that the city clerk delivers the attached letter to the following individuals: Mayor Martin J. Walsh, President Patrick Rose of the Boston Police Patrolmen's Association, President Mark Carolyn, Boston Police Superior Officers Federation, President Brian Black, Boston Police Detectives Benevolent Society, and President Richie Harris, International Association of Firefighters, Local 718. This was filed in the City Council on February 24th, 2016.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. I'm going to defer to our Chairman of Ways and Means, Councilor Siomo, to speak on this matter. But just wanted to note again, this is the late file that reflects our earlier vote in the meeting to pass the Detectives Arbitration Award. We will make the letter public as soon as this meeting is over. Apologies for the late file. Essentially, for those who don't have a copy with you right now, councilors have it on your desks. The letter thanks all of our public safety unions and employees and the mayor for everything they do for the city, recognizing again that we have the best force in the country, but also recognizing that as we close the round of public employee negotiations with this latest contract, we are looking for a different paradigm moving forward with four main points. First, that we ask that the city and all public safety unions sit down together to attempt to come to agreements together that are fair for employees and affordable for the city. Secondly, that the council expects that contracts can be negotiated across the table, and we will look with an exceptionally critical eye at any future arbitration awards. Third, that contract affordability must be viewed within the context of impacts on city programming. And fourth, that the disparity between public safety employees and civilians cannot expand with each round of bargaining, as this trend cements and expands a growth in income inequality. So again, we will make the language public, but I will defer to our chairman.
Leadership and your partnership in this. And I want to thank all my colleagues who participated in a very thoughtful, comprehensive way with the hearing yesterday. And it's almost like a broken record. As I said earlier, this is the third arbitration settlement in the high 20s, and we keep settling contracts, and we are the appropriating body. So we've appropriated 40 contracts in the past probably 3 or 4 years. Certainly all of those contracts in the 8 years I've been here. 3 of them have been through arbitration in the last 7 or 8. And we can't continue down this road where we give, our custodians and our public works employees the, inflationary cost of living type increases while we're giving public safety unions. And I think one of the things broken in the arbitration system, if you will, is what is affordability? We are a city that is booming. We are a city that has a great bond rating because of our fiscal stewardship. But affordability should also mean, what does it cost other departments? We've noted in the hearing yesterday, we are down 700 employees in all other city departments, I believe, except for public safety and education at this point. And so we need to seriously look at what the real definition of affordability is on that level, because it certainly impacts the way we fund other departments in our city. So I want to thank, again, the detectives in particular, they're here today, but all the public safety unions who do incredible work. Again, they're a model for the entire country. I'm very proud of our public safety employees and their union leadership as well. They do a great job. But we need a new, fresh approach to the way We we negotiate these contracts so they're more in line with the average worker that we all care about, and I know they care about as well. And this actually came out of discussions. How do we move forward? How do we get everybody on the same page? And how do we get to a place where they're more consistent? And so I want to thank their input, and hopefully we can move forward and get everybody in the room to agree to a more consistent pay scale for everyone. Thank you all. And thank you all for signing on to the letter.
Well, technically, we will take a vote now to assess the degree to which folks want to sign on to the letter. Does anyone else wish to speak on the letter? Great. Madam Clerk, if you would please call the roll for the first late filed matter.
Councilor Baker. Yes. Councilor Baker, yes. Councilor Campbell. Councilor Campbell, yes. Councilor Siomo. Councilor Siomo, yes. Councilor Asabi George. Councilor Asabi George, yes. Councilor Flaherty. Councilor Flaherty, yes. Councilor Jackson. Councilor Jackson, yes. Councilor LaMartina. Councilor LaMartina, yes. Councilor Linehan. Councilor Linehan, yes. Councilor McCarthy. Councilor McCarthy, yes. Councilor O'Malley. Councilor O'Malley, yes. Councilor Presley. Councilor Presley, yes. Councilor Wu.
Yes.
Councilor Wu, yes. Councilor Zachem. Councilor Zachem, yes. Madam President, we have a unanimous vote for support of the first late file.
Thank you. The first late file matter has been passed in the order which dictates that the letter will be transmitted to the individuals mentioned will be carried out by our esteemed clerk. So at this time, we'll move on to the green sheets. Anybody wishing to remove a matter may do so now. Councilor Linehan, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Docket number 0271 from page 4 of 6, please.
I'm sorry, could you, is it 0271?
0271, please.
Thank you, Counselor. In the Committee on Planning and Development, docket number 0271, sponsored by Councilor Flaherty, an order regarding a text amendment to the Boston zoning code for marijuana dispensaries. It was referred to the committee on February 10th, 2016.
Councilor Flaherty has asked that this be pulled. I support him in doing this and defer to him for remarks. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Linehan. Councilor Flaherty, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. Docket 0271 is a refile. We had a hearing on it last year. We also had working session and refiled it and wanted to give our colleagues an opportunity, particularly the new members, to assess that matter. And essentially what this will do, if this body passes it, which I'm asking for passage today, will put a text amendment to the Boston zoning code that will basically state that no medicinal or future recreational marijuana dispensary will be able to be located within 1 mile of another dispensary. So it clearly recognizes the significance and the importance of the medicinal facilities, while also recognizing and being in the front end of what will soon be an onslaught of opportunities on the recreational side for cannabis cafes and pot shops and the like. So we want to make sure that we're respecting our communities, we're respecting our local business districts. We appreciate and value the diversity of our different businesses districts that make Boston their home, and also the great effort of colleagues here working with small local business owners. And so to that end, would like to move for passage of docket 0271, get it up to the BRA for a board vote, then get it over to the zoning commission for their approval to have that codified as a text amendment to the zoning code, full well knowing that both, whether it's medicinal or recreational, they're all parts of the conditional use process, which still have to go through the community process as well. This just sets the parameters and more or less puts a finite universe as to where eventually where the recreational opportunities will be able to go and where they'll not be able to go. And by respecting the 1 mile distance from a medicinal and or another recreational facility, I think that will go a long way in protecting the quality of life for our communities, at the same time respecting the wishes of our voters on both the medicinal side, and one would venture to say that soon to be the recreation side. Thank you, Madam President.
Thank you, Counselor Flaherty. Counselor Siomo, you have the floor.
Thank you. I'm up a lot today. I'd just like to rise to thank the chairman for the hearings and working sessions, and I'm rising to support it. And the timing is probably really good because I have two potential dispensaries vying for a location on the same street within a block of each other as we speak. And I don't think that that's good for accessibility. I don't think it's good for that particular street to have that many or in that close a proximity to each other. And I believe that this is a good measure that we should work through the process with the BRA. And I want to just thank the maker. Thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Siomo. Counselor Zakem, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I want to thank Counselor Flaherty for his work on this, and I think his commitment to our neighborhoods and business districts across the city. As I mentioned when this order was introduced, I do want to make sure that while we are looking forward to, I think, the very strong likelihood that recreational marijuana will be approved, that I want to make sure we're not casting any negative implications on the need for medicinal use. I think under current state law, we have a pretty tight cap on the number in the city. I think having them spread out is probably a good idea to make sure that more people who need this, who are prescribed it by their doctors and their healthcare professionals, have access to it. But as we do move forward, whether it's through the zoning process in this body, I do want to make sure that, as a body, not just because the voters have said so, but I think because there is a real need in our community, and there's still, unfortunately, I think, is a bit of a stigma attached to medicinal marijuana, despite that it's been legal for several years now in the Commonwealth. We need to make sure people who need that are able to get it, that they go through all the process through the State Department of Public Health rules. We go through the zoning process, but we want to make sure that sick people are able to get this. So I thank Councilor Flaherty for this, and I appreciate that the specter of recreational dispensaries possibly coming in. We do need to protect our business districts, but I do want to make sure that folks in the community, whether it's cancer patients, AIDS patients, people suffering from all sorts of other illnesses that are rightfully prescribed medicinal marijuana, are able to access that and don't need to feel that they're doing something wrong or that's undesirable. So thank you.
Thank you, Counselor Zakem. Counselor Baker.
This make it's conditional use now, and it'll become forbidden within that 1 mile. And additionally, with outside that boundary of 1 mile, is it conditional or will it be forbidden also?
Same thing, it's conditional, so it's a conditional use for medicinal. Recreational, once it comes online, arguably will be also conditional use. So you have to go through the community process and be vetted through.
With that
electives,
conditional
et cetera,
use,
et cetera.
it'll mandate that they come before the community process.
Yeah, that's happening independent of this text amendment. The text amendment just really puts a finite universe in as to where they can go and where they cannot go. But anyone wishing to either move in, as you're seeing the process in Councilor Siomo's district, the medicinal opportunities here, they're reaching out to the local elected officials, they're going to their local community, civic associations, what have you. That process is still going to be in place. This will just say that if there's a medicinal or recreational facility, another one cannot locate within 1 mile.
Yep.
So it'll be sort of a diverse opportunity for folks in from the accessibility standpoint, for those that have a medicinal need, making sure that we're not impeding their ability to get their hands on prescribed medicine for relief of their pain symptoms.
Yeah, and just for the record, I am supportive of this. I think it was great work. We're in front of this this nationwide trend of legalized marijuana. Thank you.
And through the chair, obviously, to the previous speaker, it may be a conduit to deal with the opiate problem that we have. If we're able to have some success with this text amendment with respect to sort of the medicinal and the recreational, I think the problem that exists in your community and some of our other colleagues' communities, where there's a plethora of facilities going in one concentrated area, which I think has sort of been a real headache for you and for your constituents. So this may be an opportunity for us down the road to maybe take a look at some type of a text amendment on that type of opportunity, that type of activity as well.
Thank you, Counselor Baker and Counselor Flaherty, for the clarification. Counselor Jackson, you have the floor.
Thank you very much, Madam President. I rise to underscore what Councilor Zakem noted. We are speaking about medicine. We do not limit CVS's and Walgreens in the city of Boston. I also do draw the concern that It's my understanding that the city of Boston could potentially tax recreational marijuana. And as we look forward to budget season and deficits, I guess the other question is are we limiting the potential revenue that could occur? I also think that, as noted by Councilor Flaherty and Councilor Baker, and I think Councilor Baker and Councilor Linehan and I have definitely done a lot of work, in particular with the opioid issues and at the state level. And we've all three had the distinction of being named in a lawsuit, also relative to the. Oh, yes, you were. Well, you're distinguished with us. But I think it is absolutely critical that individuals who need this medication are able to access this medication and deal with the issues that can help them. And so I think that's a critical component. But I also think, fast forward to the future, we also all have to acknowledge the fact that the city of Boston overwhelmingly passed the referendum around marijuana. Now, we all know what ends up happening is that we pass these things and then nobody wants it in their neighborhood, right? But I do think we also do need to note that the voters of the city of Boston emphatically supported that we should be in the state of Massachusetts able to have medical marijuana. And we look forward to hearing their voice in 2016. Thank you so much, Madam President.
Thank you, Councilor Jackson. Councilor Linehan?
Thank you, Madam President. I just rise to commend the author of this. I have had 5 applications in my district alone. I'm the only one that has a medicinal marijuana dispensary in his or her district. So I think that to put geographical boundaries on this is wise. And that's why I'll be supporting the matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor Linehan. Councilor Siomo?
Thank you. I just stand to clarify my position. I support medicinal marijuana. And I think the accessibility would be hindered if we let 2 go in my district within a block of each other. So I think this is good because there's only 5, according to the legislation, there's only 5 allowed in Suffolk County. We already have 1 in, maybe 2 in Suffolk County right now. Maybe 1 in Revere, just 1. Just 1. So there's 4 more potentially. So to locate 2, I think would actually hinder accessibility for the people that we want to serve and who need this medicine for themselves. And the CVS analogy, they can open up anywhere. I would prefer if medicinal marijuana could be dispensed through CVSs like every other medicine. I would prefer that. But because of federal law, it can't be. So that's why I stand in support of that, and I just wanted to clarify that.
Thank you, Councilor Siomo. Councilor LaMattina, you have the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. I really have some concerns in regards to this ordinance. The voters didn't have the opportunity to vote yet on recreational marijuana, so we have not given them the voice. With that 1 mile, I know in the North End, for example, there's only a couple of smoke shops in the city, and 1 being in the North End. And that was just, I have no idea because we don't know what the new regulations would be if there was recreational marijuana. But I think we need more information. What's going on in Colorado, I have no idea. I haven't been there. I'd like to maybe visit or talk to some of the city officials. I was working over there. But I think that the voters deserve a vote one way or the other before we do an ordinance like this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilor LaMattina. Quick recess. Madam Clerk? Council will be back in session. So apologies for the brief recess. I was just trying to process procedurally what was happening because there's been one motion to bring this before, it has been brought before the body by the committee chair. There's been one motion to take the vote. Now, I believe potentially superseded by another motion to move it back into committee. But Councilor Lamattina, if you would like to clarify.
Madam President, yes, I would ask that through the chair, if we could put this back in the committee. Just as some other issues that I really want to discuss. I really want to learn more about what's going on in Colorado and the cities over there before we really prohibit what's going to happen in Boston in the future. We don't even know because the people haven't voted yet. So I'm really concerned about the people's vote in regards to this issue, in regards to recreational use.
All right, so procedurally, the committee chair is able to pull something from committee to the floor, and now with the motion superseded by one to put it back in committee, this would require a poll of the committee members. Quick recess. Council will be back in session. Okay, so just to recap, we are now going to resume. There are a number of issues here, and I will entertain another comment by the committee chair, which I believe will clarify. Councilor Linehan.
Madam Chair, based on the dialogue amongst colleagues, which is not as open as we might like. I think that in talking with Councilor Flaherty, he agrees that if we had a hearing next week, in which I'm willing to try to facilitate, that we would pull this matter from the floor at this time and put it back in committee so that we could post for a hearing next week and go over the details that have arisen here through the discussions.
Thank you, Councilor Linehan. Councilor Campbell, did you still wish to speak?
No, that's exactly. Thank you.
Great. So Thank you, everyone, for as I navigate all the different procedural pieces of this. And thank you to the sponsor and the committee chair for making sure that we are being as transparent as possible. So docket 0271 actually will remain in the Committee on Planning and Development. Is there any other request to pull an item from the green sheets? Councillor Flaherty?
Madam Chair, if I could just add my name to docket 0319. I failed to do that earlier when I was in the middle of discussion on another matter.
Madam Clerk, if we could revisit docket 0319, the Puppy Mill Bill, and add Councillor Flaherty's name. Okay, moving on to the consent agenda, there are 4 items which in the absence of objection will be added to the consent agenda. Seeing and hearing no objection, the matters are added. All those in favor of adopting the consent agenda say aye. Any opposed say nay. The consent agenda is adopted. And now I'd ask all guests and members to please rise. Oh, actually, please sit back down. Councillor Jackson, for what purpose do you rise?
Consent to make a statement.
Seeing no objection, please
Thank
continue.
you so much, Madam President. I first want to thank our prior president, Councilor Linehan, for his support for Black History Month and his financial support for incorporating that into the council budget. I also want to thank you, Councilor Wu, and Madam President, for also doing the same thing. Tonight, we will host our annual Black History Month event right here in beautiful Boston City Hall in the Ionella Chamber. We have a wonderful event that will happen tonight. 5 p.m. we will have the young people from Orchard Garden School who are world-renowned now for being able to go to see President Obama. First graders who are able to recite the I Have a Dream speech. And we have many other things that will be going on tonight. So really looking forward to it. The theme this year is around educators, Black educators and their contributions to the city of Boston, and really the lasting contributions. And we now have some teachers on the body, those lasting contributions in our community. So really looking forward. Councilor Campbell, Councilor Presley, and our staff have worked tirelessly to pull this together. And again, there is food. Thank you, Councilor Wu. And we will be able to. What's that? Yeah, you actually do. You do have to sit through the whole program to get food. You're not allowed to dip out early to get food, but it should be a really great time. And I thank this. I thank the leadership here, but it allows us to celebrate all parts of the amazing melting pot that we call the city of Boston. So really looking forward to tonight. It kicks off at 5 o'clock, and we should be done by 7. Thank you so much, Councilor Wu.
Thank you, Councilor Jackson. Okay, we have explored the ins and outs of procedure. We have played Simon Says. Now the final Simon Says is please rise as the council prepares to adjourn today's meeting in memory of the following individuals. Councilor Siomo, Mary Louise Rossi. For Councilor Asabi George, Marvin Rumpold. For Councilor LaMattina, Johnny Shoes Camarada, Robert A. Ruggiero, Maureen Reinstein. For Councilor O'Malley, Hind Seraphin, Francis T. Brennan, Paul F. Boyle, and Leo F. Rusk Jr., Chris Rusk's father. For Councilor Presley, Marshawn McCarroll, Black Lives Matters activist, William Vickers, World War II veteran and Tuskegee Airman, and Gwendolyn Ruth Taylor. And for the chair, Christopher M. Shaughnessy. A moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. The chair moves that when the council adjourns today, it meet again, do so in memory of the aforementioned individuals and meet again Wednesday, March 2nd at 12 noon. All in favor say aye. Any opposed say nay. Ayes have it, the council is adjourned.